Hamish and Andy.
And the Easter show occurs in various places around the country. The big one's in Sydney. It's looking at a bit of footage from the Easter show in Sydney over the weekend, and amongst the many wonderful treats that are there for the kids and the animals and whatnot, there's a guy that gets fired out of what they call a cannon.
And they say the word fire as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Come see the human cannonball, and it shows him. He's launching from the tube, a big man-sized tube. Explosions, an explosion happens. He gets flung out and lands in a net. Everyone goes nuts, except for me. Cut to me in the crowd, scowling and mouthing swear words at the guy.
Well, cut away then.
It's for kids. Because I know he's just perpetrated the biggest scam at the show.
Okay.
Now, we know a few of the games are rigged.
Yeah.
What about the entertainment? Who's looking at the entertainment?
You are.
I propose to you, Andy, there are no explosives in that cannon. Mm-hmm. It seems to me that it is simply a tube with a big spring in it. He's being sprung forth from the tube.
Yep.
And some superficial, cheap explosions occur at the rim of the barrel on or about the time he comes out of it.
So you're saying no firing.
He is not...
He's getting pushed.
He's not propelled out of that tube by explosives.
He's getting pushed, you reckon? So you can't use the word fire.
You can't use the word cannon. A cannon has explosives in it, and it fires out a human or a ball. Spring tube. Come see the man in the spring tube, because that's all he is, and that's all he's good for.
Peter has called in, worked at the circus for 21 years. You were a clown and an animal feeder, Peter.
Yeah, I used to feed animals, monkeys, lions, ponies, bit of everything.
Oh, God. So when we were here, clown and animal feeder, I thought you fed the clowns as well.
Well, I used to feed myself, yes, I am a clown in the circus.
Yeah. Hey, Peter, just this is off the topic, but as a clown, do you need to pick up other chores because you're not deemed to have a strong enough job as just being clown?
Oh, no, we've got to do, in the circus industry, you've got to do a multitude of things.
What about tightrope walkers? Tightrope walkers, are they feeding animals? Or
Sorry?
Are the tightrope walkers feeding animals, or are they a bit too good for that?
No, they're too good for that. Leave it us for us clowns to...
That's what I thought.
Yeah, is there a bit of, I'm not cleaning up elephant poo, give it to the clowns.
That's it.
Well, now that we've had that brief discussion on clown personnel hierarchy, Pete, are you familiar with the giant human cannon?
I've seen it all done, not in our show, but I have seen it all done.
Now, that guy is not shot out with explosives, is he?
Not explosives, no.
What is it?
It's a big loaded spring.
Knew it.
There is gunpowder that goes off, and as the gunpowder goes off, the spring goes off and he gets shot straight into the net.
Now, Pete, back in the good old days, did they actually used to fire someone out with gunpowder?
No. Too dangerous.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like you put the cracker down your pants. It's too dangerous.
Fair enough, Peter. Rick has also called in. You're an acrobat at the circus, Rick, so obviously you weren't feeding the animals or cleaning up the poo.
First of all, Rick, do you agree with Peter's inflammatory comments that acrobats think they're too good to clean up poo?
Oh, really? No, definitely not. We definitely always seem to be picking up our own crap.
Well, Peter thought that you left it to the clowns.
No, absolutely not. We're constantly picking up after ourselves.
Okay, well, this is good.
After
Breaking.
yourself. Strange act.
Rick, you should have just done it in the
toilet. Rick, I wanted to ask you this. Have you been involved in the human cannonball, as they call it?
I certainly have. I've been in a circus with a human cannonball. I have quite a horror story about the cannon. I can tell you exactly how it works, but...
Yep. Tell us.
Yeah, well, basically there's a platform in the bottom of the cannon, and they haul it back with a spring, and they have a little bit of rope that's tied to the platform to hold it down, and you pop yourself in the cannon, and they pull the string, and the cannon
fire.
obviously shoots you.
Yep.
But a friend of mine in Circus Oz was in the cannon with it fully set to go, and as it fired, the foot platform snapped in two pieces, and...
Ooh.
The piece of metal shot up between his legs and took out half of his hamstring muscle and one of his testicles.
Oh, jeez!
That's why you should use explosives.
No.
Much safer.
Hey, Rick, does what happens then? Does he crawl out with half a hamstring minus a testicle? What happens then?
Oh, well, they had to stop the show, and he had obviously some major reconstructive surgery, and
but what do you do in front of the crowd?
It would have been amazing,
come
Rick.
out
I
slowly?
mean, this is horrible, but if the testicle had been propelled out of the cannon, people, I mean, at least the crowd still got a show.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, it was pretty horrific. I wasn't actually at that show, but I heard about it very, very quickly.
Oh, gosh. Oh, that's...
Let's go back to explosives, maybe.
Hamish and Andy.